All right, welcome back to the program. In case you're just joining us, as the Moneyline with Nancy segment on the COVID-19 watch, where we take you through the economics of the pandemic. Before the break, I did say I will be looking at, that's the conversation today, I'll be looking at local solutions that we're coming up with to mitigate the effect of COVID-19. Joining me right now is Professor Mohammed Sani Haruna, is the Executive Vice Chairman and the Chief Executive Officer of the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, NASENI. Good morning, Prof, and thank you for joining us today.
Good morning, Nancy. It's good to be with you.
Fantastic. Just before we went on a break, I did call the name of your agency, NASENI. And I can imagine that some people may not even know what NASENI means. Perhaps this is the first time they are hearing it. So speak to us about what is NASENI, what does NASENI do? I know you're under the Ministry of Science and Technology. So what exactly does NASENI do?
NASENI means National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure. It is an agency that is established with a mandate to research and develop equipment in the area of capital goods to fast-track industrial development of Nigeria. The mandate of NASENI is in all sectors, that is science, engineering, and technology related, including biotechnology and medical equipment. So the agency has been doing several research and producing products with the aim of supporting SMEs in order that successful research and developed products can go to the market through collaboration and selling that technology to private sector. Of course, it's also within the mandate of NASENI to set up pilot plant and demonstrate manufacturing capability and possibility as a proof of concept, as we have been doing in other areas like power sectors. That is in brief, Nancy.
Okay, so at least our audience can understand what your agency does. I will come back to that in a bit to ask you perhaps some of the things that you've told me now, research, biotechnology, some things that you also do to assist MSMEs and even the private sector. We'll come back to that in a bit. But what I am interested in right now is I'm aware that just a few days ago, you launched some inventions, let me put it that way, because they are inventions, they are quite novel because of the battle against coronavirus in Nigeria. Speak to me about some of the things that came up. I did see some pictures, ventilators, I did see some, yes. So just speak to me about it.
Okay. With the attempt by everyone to see how we can mitigate the spread of coronavirus, we started by developing devices that will use as preventive measures that will enhance disinfection of the environment, disinfections of roads, building, public places, even individual homes. With this, we developed 7 different devices that are novel, that are homemade, that are locally researched within a very short period. Within 9 days, the team came up with these designs and used locally available materials to produce these devices that work automatically. One of them, we call it NASENI O-shaped tunnel. It's a tunnel that can disinfect 450 persons per hour, and it is automatically operated. All you need to do is to to pass through the device. Within 5 seconds, it disinfects whoever is inside. It senses that someone is inside and release disinfectants, automize air and mixture of a disinfectant that is within the system. And God willing and by virological result, by the time that somebody go through it and come out, he is free, his dresses, his body is free of any virus. So that it is safe for him to enter premises without bringing in or infecting others that he will be meeting. This is very suitable and noble and appropriate to be installed at entrances of major public buildings like secretariats, National Assembly, main entrance to marketplaces, stadium, and so on and so forth. There is another one that is, we call it that is inverted U-shape. It also works automatically. Immediately you enter, the sensor sense that somebody has come in and disinfect the person completely. They are made of polycarbonate materials and covered with suitable materials that will not attract any heat or ultraviolet light, so it is safe. The test conducted. Another version is a single chamber that one can just put at his entrance to the house, even entrance to office. Anyone who is coming in will automatically be disinfected before he reach where you are living, making it safe and therefore curtailing the spread of the virus. We have also done some devices, that delivery devices, that is appropriate to be carried on keke napep or keke NASENI, such that our rural areas, our slums can also, as you said in your presentation, is not only a big man disease, so we should take care of every corner. Also, we have done some that can be delivered on pick-off van, and also some that are suitable to be delivered through the use of water tanker or bigger trucks, such that every area, every road environment will be disinfected, because it is prevention, of course, is better than cure. Now, coming to the management of the infected persons, as you rightly say, ventilators, everyone across the world is trying to see how to look inwards. We also did that. And with the support of our World Health Organization, we got a version of a mobile ventilator that is pneumatically or air operated. We did reverse engineering by producing exactly that model, and we also produce a new model that is electromechanical, operated electrically. And these ventilators are currently undergoing clinical assessment before approvals can be given for their mass production.
Okay. Okay, Prof, where are they undergoing clinical, where are they undergoing these clinical trials? Who's conducting that?
Well, it is National Pharmaceutical Research and Development Institute.
Okay, so after those clinical trials, yes, we expect them to be mass produced, is that it?
After they meet, because it is a matter of health. Before something can be deployed for treatment, there is require some approval. The data obtained from this test, from pharmaceutical research, will be presented with certification for approval of NAFDAC before we can say we can go ahead. Of course, we can produce them, but then we want to be sure that all the required condition medically as a standard of World Health Organization are met before they can be deployed to treat human beings.
Okay, what timeline are you looking at for this to be concluded? Because we are talking of, it's a matter of life and death right now. Nigeria needs local or homegrown solutions at this point. So is there a timeline you're looking at that all this can be concluded?
Well, the testing itself became a challenge because in the past, no one has done this in the country. So even the regulatory agencies did not develop framework and protocol for this assessment and testing to accredit earlier on. So currently they are undergoing the development of the appropriate standard for assessing this equipment. And I want you also to know the standard they are developing, protocol and platform for doing this clinical test itself has to be approved by the World Health Organization that it is a standard and meet world requirement. So they are doing that, but we are hoping when all the facilities they need available for them, they should be able to conclude within a short possible period of time. For their own assessment procedure, I wouldn't be able to give time, but I know they know the urgency of this and they are doing their best to get it within the shortest possible period of time.
Okay, Prof, you know, from what you're saying, is it good for me to infer this? Because I know you're a science person, talking about
Yes.
inference, that
Yes.
because of these inventions or these devices which you've come up with are novel, and your agency is an agency for engineering research, scientific research, does that mean, would it be appropriate for me to infer that any new thing that comes out from your agency, since it may undergo tests or trials, and is a new thing, that means that we do not have a framework to conduct tests or trials for any new invention?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
No, I'm just saying, no. What I'm saying is that, does that mean this is the process? Because let's say I invent something new now to the benefit of people. I know it's going to undergo trials or tests, but if I give it to the appropriate agencies, they've not seen something like that before. How will they get to test it to know that it's good for purpose or for humanity? I hope you understand where I'm going to.
Yes, I understand. So if I invent an equipment that I've been inventing in the area of electrical power, renewable energy, for example, I can conduct tests immediately and see the performance compare with existing world standard. I can deploy them without a problem. Again, we also have world standard, what we need to meet, the specification we need to meet in things we do to ensure that they are of a world-class level and deploy them. Now, you will agree with me, COVID-19 is a new disease itself. No one has been able to confirm that this is the actual vaccine or treatment procedure. So you cannot, from engineering point and science point of view, deploy things on human being without liaising with the experts in medical profession. Of course, we didn't work alone. We involved medical personnel to monitor and see what we are doing. But to conclude that the ventilator, for the disinfectant, there is no problem. They have protocol for that. They have conducted tests. They are satisfied with the efficiency and effectiveness in disinfecting. So that one we are not waiting because they have that already. But for the ventilator that no one has ever produced in Nigeria, they have not conducted that standard assessment and approval in the past. When it comes to Nigeria, when we have started doing it, it has to meet this. Mind you, among the clinical tests that it will take, it will require them even testing on persons that are actually affected by COVID, by the virus, to see what is the output, what is the effect. So therefore, anything in the health sector, especially now, we have to be sure, since there is no reference earlier on, we have to be sure that we are mitigating, we are not escalating the problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Have you been in contact with Presidential Task Force, for example, FCT administration? Have you been in contact with government agencies? What is happening on that level?
The Minister of State for FCT was also in NASENI and inspected. The team from FCT have inspected the equipment. Other agencies have done that. The Prime Minister of Science and Technology has contacted and is meeting with the Presidential Task Force. In fact, if I finish meeting with you now, we are going for a meeting with Prime Minister of Health that is interministerial. There are efforts on how to deploy the things that have already been certified for us and approved to meet standard, like the spraying and disinfecting devices. We are already preferring their deployment to places that need to use them.
Like what kind of places? Like what kind of places? Because the lockdown would ease from Monday. I guess some government offices will open and all of that. Like what I saw earlier, are you in talks to deploy some of those things to those areas where a lot of people gather publicly?
Well, some MDAs are coming on their own, trying to make sure that their environment is safe to acquire their own. Some state government are also reaching out to us and liaising with our team on how they can get supply to their places.
Okay. Prof, I'm interested to know how the funds came about to do some of these new devices or to come up with these inventions. Where do you get funds for that? Is it part of your budget?
That is the big problem. When the issue came up, everybody was confused and disturbed. So we had to use the little we can mobilize from our system, from even our own personal contribution, because the engineers and scientists are willing, they sacrifice, they are anxious to see a solution comes out. So when the prototype were ready, then we invited the Minister of Science and Technology and said, this is what we have been able to achieve, and we now require funding in order to produce more. In fact, some equipment, some spare parts or materials we use in this development, we acquire them on credit from people we are used to doing transaction with. Because of the urgency, we didn't say, let's wait until we have fund. Let me say that when we camp people in one of our centers in Mina for 9 days, all we are able to do is to be accommodated in our facilities, workshops and offices, and organize food there. So no one gets any DTA or allowances for staying there for 9 days, because the people are anxious, the scientists, engineers, and technicians are patriotic. All they need is resolve for the country, which we commend them for that.
I hope you'll be able to pay back your credits that you are owing. Hopefully,
we hope so.
Hopefully when you are able, because this you want to sell those devices, isn't it? Especially those that have on that you've started rolling out, like disinfectants and all of. You hope to sell them.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I'm hoping that I'm hoping you have money to pay back those people you are owing, because they will need the money too.
Because we need more material from them.
Oh, okay. There is the private sector coalition against COVID-19. I don't know if you've heard about them. CACOVID, the private sector made up of the central bank and some other organizations as well as individuals. The last count, I think they've contributed about 27 billion naira. Are you in talk with them, for example? Have you reached out? Because I did speak with Dr. Herbert Nwigwe some weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago. He's the GMD of Access Bank. He's also part of that coalition. He did tell me that they were, they would engage people perhaps that do some things locally. They also perhaps getting testing kits and all of that. Are you making efforts to get across to CACOVID?
The agencies under Prime Minister of Science and Technology have met and articulated our requirement on how to intervene. And the Minister of Science and Technology has put up a request on behalf of the agencies through the ministry and intervention soon.
Okay, so through the ministry to CACOVID, is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, okay, so we should be expecting a reply from them, or do you know if there's a reply yet?
Well, I'm not aware if they have responded
Responded.
yet, but if they have responded, I believe I should have known because on daily basis we are in contact on the development and what we need to do.
Okay. Prof, let me take you back to what you said earlier. As a science and research-based organization, because a lot of people also have the idea, I know we do have a lot of researchers and scientists. In fact, most of the people abroad, away from Nigeria, in the US, in the UK, and some other countries abroad, when you go there, you'll be surprised that there are Nigerians there doing research, various researches. In fact, even if you travel, you want to even go, let's say, have a baby in the US or in the UK, the doctor that will come out is a Nigerian doctor. So that means that we do have the capacity. A lot of people have also questioned if we have that local capacity here in Nigeria in terms of science, in terms of research, in all areas. You spoke earlier about what you've been doing. Just speak to me about some of the inventions. Have you come up with inventions in the past? Or some things, like you said earlier, I heard you, power and all of that. What are the things that the agency have come up with in the past that perhaps we are using now and we don't know?
Well, let me say that the method of our research all the time is need-oriented and market demanding. Whatever is happening, whatever is needed, we come up with something that will support. One of the things you may be using you don't know and is research developed by NASENI and is manufacturing in commercial quantity is solar panel or solar modules, photovoltaic cell. NASENI, through research and development, is currently producing solar modules in Karachi, Abuja. The factory is 7.5 megawatt capacity and is a limited liability company owned by federal government under NASENI. It's purely based on research and development of NASENI. We have done some small hydro power turbine and deployed them in the past. When there were challenges on issue of transport in the past, before the ban of Okada, NASENI produced first made in Nigeria motorcycle, later first made in Nigeria tricycle. In the area of educational research equipment, NASENI is known for invention and production in large quantity of science laboratory equipment at secondary and tertiary institution level. I want you to know that the structure of NASENI laboratory and workshop is in the form of industries. NASENI has a facility to mass produce whatever is invented, because it's said that apart from producing prototype, we should demonstrate pilot plant on how mass production can be done, even though we can say to private sector. Also, in the area of farm implement, agricultural equipment, there are so many equipment from cultivation, crop processing, food preservations, many devices. NASENI is involved. The NASENI operates through research and development institutions that are mono-mandate, each one concentrating in particular areas. So there are many like that. You have said it, there is capacity. It's not lacking inside. When the issue of election came up, you remember that NASENI even came up with electronic voting solution that is not only voting machine, but voting solution, and demonstrated to country and also demonstrated to INEC in such a way that there were many interests leading to INEC setting up a technical committee between it and that of Ministry of Science and Technology and NASENI to look at other issues. Of course, it stops there because some enabling laws is required to allow the electoral body use electronic voting solutions. So as you said, we are not only working alone, we are collaborating with many engineering, research and development institutions and tertiary institutions and technical institutions locally, such that will not be working at cross purposes to work together.
Okay, Prof, sorry, let me butt in here because we have to go like in the next 1 or 2 minutes. Are you also in talks with academic institutions in Nigeria? Because the university is a knowledge, should at least normally should be a knowledge-based institution where a lot of research, a lot of new things come out from. We should be gearing towards, because the world is going right now, is a knowledge-based global economy right now. And I'm wondering where Nigeria is on that map. So are you in any way collaborating with institutions, tertiary institutions across the country? Because we have like engineering, science students across the country. You will agree with me that we should be gearing towards a knowledge-based economy right now.
Yes, thank you very much. Collaborating with universities and other tertiary institutions is mandatory. We have been doing that, in fact, by introducing certain latest advanced technologies and high-tech processes, including jointly running courses that are not available in Nigeria but are needed. For example, we are running nanotechnology courses with Center of Excellence in those areas which we have the facilities and the universities don't have, in automation, in mechatronics, collaborating with different universities. While they do the theories with their students, the practical, both the resource person and student receive practical exposure in our centers across the country. Not only that, we collaborate also with other engineering and tertiary institutions across the world. I will tell you that even currently we have started to produce face masks using 3D printing in collaboration with Royal Academy of Engineering and some engineering institution in the US, being coordinated by Nigeria Academy of Engineering. So whatever we don't know or we don't have, and we see the capacity or ability anywhere in the world or locally, we normally go there to collaborate and then copy or domesticate the technology so that Nigeria can benefit. It is within our mandate and purview to work to ensure that Nigeria goes industrialized and becomes manufacturing economy. It's in the core mandate of NASENI.
Final question just before you go, especially with what COVID-19 is, the effect across the world. Do you think it is time for us to begin to look inwards into science and technology? Right now, all prices are crashing. As today, Brent crude, $24 a barrel. In the next few months, we are going to suffer for it because revenue to the government will reduce. How can we survive this oil price crash, especially with science and technology, as we also try as much as possible to mitigate coronavirus pandemic in the country?
Okay, necessity is a mother of invention. In fact, we are just paying heavy price for what we have done earlier on. It is known we didn't lack policy and knowledge that we need to be manufacturing economy rather than exporters of only raw materials. Long time. For example, NASENI has been established since 1992 with the aim of addressing this in line and in the model of similar agencies elsewhere that have liberated their countries from economic waste to manufacturing, like Indonesia, like Malaysia, like China. They have similar agencies like our own. However, they enable environment to allow institutions like NASENI to thrive and to have taken the country away from consumer economy. The manufacturing economy has not been created. So we have now no option than to look inwards as is the only solution. Manufacturing is the only thing that will guarantee our stability of economy. Manufacturing, not the way we are doing. It must be indigenous, locally innovated and invented. We can import machines, equipment, and the personnel and say we have manufacturing economy. It must be homegrown technology.
I think we'll leave it at that, Prof. Thank you for talking with me today. I wish you well. I will continue to follow you, guys, follow your agency and see what happens as we continue to track the spread of this virus and homegrown solutions to mitigate the effect of COVID-19. So I wish you well. Thank you for speaking with me.
Thank you very much.